Hey everybody, Mike here from CMMG, and today I'm in front of you for Q&A round 2. You guys sent a lot of questions after the last Q&A and before. Actually, all the time. You guys always send questions, so that's what I'm here for today. I'm here to answer more of your questions. So, without further ado, let's just jump right into it with the most asked question that we've probably had in the history of the company, and that is, what does CMMG stand for? Well, all I have to say about that is this.
That's classified.
It's what?
It's classified. I could tell you, but then I'd have to kill you.
Moving on to question number 2. We have a lot of fans that are in countries outside the United States, overseas, Taiwan, Philippines, South Africa. There are a lot of you guys out there that really like our products, and you ask, do we export? Unfortunately, we do not export directly. We have to go through an exporter. So, if you would like a little more information on who you might be able to get one of our products through in your area, feel free to just hit us up in the email at sales@cmmginc.com or sales@cmmgdealersales.com. One of those people should be able to get you directed to our exporter in your area and get you hooked up with some sweet CMMG gear. Now for question number 3. With the release of our new Mark 17, a lot of you have asked, does it take Glock mags? No, it does not take Glock mags. We specifically designed it to use the SIG P320 or M18 variants of their 9mm magazines. Well, a lot of you have asked, well, why doesn't it take Glock mags? The simplest answer is, because we released that back in 2017. So, we've actually had a Glock mag variant out for quite some time. It actually started with a 45 ACP with Glock mags, then we did the 9, then we did a 40 and a 10mm. So, look for the MKGS variant if you're looking for a 9mm that uses Glock style magazines. Otherwise, the new Mark 17 SIG P320 magazines. Question number 4. So since we did just release a new gun in the Mark 17, actually anytime we release a new product, you guys are always quick to ask, well, since you just made this, are you going to make it with this magazine? Or are you going to make it in this caliber? Well, unfortunately, that's really not something that we divulge. We don't release information prior to the products being released. Actually, if you think about it industry-wide, nobody really does. We have trade shows, like SHOT Show, NRAM, other shows. That's where kind of our bigger unveils are, but this being 2020, it's been a little weird, so we release things when we can, but you're typically not going to hear about it beforehand unless you go to cmmginc.com/insider and sign up to be one of our insiders. With that, you might get a little information before everybody else, so you might check that out. Question number 5. With the popularity of our 9mm conversion mags, a lot of you ask, when are we going to do those conversion style magazines in 45, 40 Smith & Wesson, or 10mm? Well, if you weren't paying attention, how about I refer you to the last question I just answered? Okay, I'm yanking your chain a little bit there. You guys ask this question a lot, so I'm going to go ahead and address it for you. The simple fact is, we've looked at it, but we really don't know when we're going to be able to come up with a new round to be able to put into those magazines. The primary thing you're looking at is the feed lips are going to be completely different for those different diameter rounds. 9mm is very close to a 223, so it actually fits and works very well. When you start getting into some of those other calibers and other diameters, it's probably not going to work just in a standard PMag. Our engineers have looked at it, but unfortunately, I don't have a time frame as to when we're going to do one. I just say, stay tuned. Question number 6 comes to us a lot, and that is, will the Fostech Echo binary style triggers work in my CMMG? Well, I would love to say yes. I would love to say yes across the board, that they'll work in all platforms. But there are a couple caveats. The main thing that you need to look at with the Fostech Echo style triggers, whether it's the AR2 or the Sport model, they both require some type of sear engagement. So that means you have to have a M16 style bolt carrier to be able to engage that and be able to operate on. Well, there's 2 things that don't have that. One is our early Mark 47s. If you have an early Mark 47, there's a chance that bolt carrier will not have that cut like the M16 cut, and it probably won't work for you. Current models do, so if you have a new Mark 47, guess what? Enjoy that Fostech Echo trigger. It's going to be a lot of fun. The other caveat to that being 22 kits and dedicated 22s. Since they require a sear trip kit to be able to work in a full auto, or in this case, something like a binary trigger system, you're going to need to make sure you have that kit. Unfortunately, our auto sear trip doesn't quite work with the Fostech. So if you have one of our 22 kits or dedicated 22 and you want to run that Fostech trigger that you've got, go to Fostech's website and they actually have a sear trip kit modified specifically for their triggers that you can buy directly from them. And then go out, have fun with our 22 and their trigger. Since we were just talking about 22 conversions, how about we go ahead and go right into number 7, which is a question that our tech support team gets a lot. And that is, why won't my 22 conversion for my 5.56 and 223 chambered AR fit in my 223 5.56 chambered upper? Well, unfortunately, a lot of you don't realize that is a shipping protector. That is made to protect the chamber adapter in shipping so it doesn't get damaged. What you need to do is take that thing off, get rid of it. You don't need it. Now you can see that looks like a 223 or 5.56 casing. So that's going to go right into your mil-spec style upper. Throw that 22 conversion magazine in, you're good to go. Continuing on with number 8, with one of our more recent releases, we've had somebody ask, will there be a 6mm ARC Banshee? Well, for those of you that aren't familiar, our Banshees are lines of pistols and SBRs, so they're shorter than 16-inch barrels. However, I don't foresee a 6mm ARC Banshee, primarily right now because you're looking at, that has a rifle length gas system, which is already about 12 inches. So just from the gas system to the end of a standard, carbine length barrel or rifle barrel, you're looking at 16 inches. 4 inches difference probably isn't going to be enough for us to justify going any shorter to make it into a Banshee. I'm not saying never. There's always the options of adjustable gas blocks and things of that sort. I just don't see it happening anytime soon. Number 9 is a question we've been getting ever since we did our product lineup change back in early 2019. And that question is, what is the difference between a guard and a Banshee? Well, try to stick with me here. I'll try to make it as simple as I can. But essentially, a guard was, I say was because it's a term we don't use anymore, but a guard was anything that used our radial delay blowback operating system. So no matter if it was a pistol, an SBR, or a rifle, if it used our radial delay blowback operating system, it was a guard. Well, then we came out with the Banshees that were the smallest configuration pistol and SBR we had. So no matter what the caliber, no matter what the operating system, if we made it as small as we could, it was a Banshee. So with that, some guards were Banshees, but not all Banshees were guards. Got it? I know, it seems confusing, but don't worry about that. Again, guard, anything radial delay blowback. Banshee currently is the name that we use for all of our pistols and SBRs, no matter what the operating system, no matter what the caliber. So Banshees are our pistols and SBRs, and they do come in a multitude of tiers. We have the 100, 200, and 300 series. I'll get into that here in just a second. So with that, number 10 is, what is the difference between a 100, 200, and 300 series CMMG product? Well, the simplest answer for that is think of it like trim levels on a car. A 100 series is going to be more entry level. 200 series is going to give you a few upgrades, give you mid-grade there. And a 300 series is going to be your top of the line. Now, the one thing to think about there is all of them are going to have the same core components. So upper, lower, barrel, bolt, handguard are for the most part going to be the same in all of them, at least as far as quality goes. They're all going to have M-LOK free-floated handguards. That's pretty much going to be the same across the board. What you're primarily looking at difference-wise is going to be add-ons and accessories. So 100 series is going to be really entry-level stuff. It's going to have, basic pistol grip. If it's going to have a pistol, it's going to have a pistol tube and not a pistol brace. It's going to have a basic stock on it if you get a rifle version. So those are going to be some things you're looking at in a 100 series. A 200 series is going to give you a few upgrades. So you're going to get a different muzzle device. You're typically going to get a better pistol grip. If the trigger guard is able to be changed, you're going to get a better trigger guard. You're going to go from a pistol tube to a pistol brace. You're going to go from an M4 butt stock to a ripstock. You're going to go from a basic rifle stock to a Mo rifle stock. So you're starting to get those upgrades. Well, when you go from a 200 to a 300 series, the things you get there, you get Premier Cerakote standard. No extra charge for that. You get to choose one of 10 colors. You're going to get things like your ambi safety selector. You're going to get an oversized ambi charging handle. You're going to get better stocks and braces, shorter, more features, things of that sort, if the model allows it. So it's just kind of tiered up from entry level to our top of the line stuff. So 100 series entry, 200 series mid-grade, 300 series top of the line. And as far as the 300 series goes, in our rifles, so our Endeavors and our Resolutes, they are also going to have a Geisley SSA trigger. So you do get an upgraded trigger in those also. As far as the Banshees go, those are our smallest guys. 300 series, smallest configuration we offer in any of those. So hopefully that helps you understand a little bit more what the differences are between the 100, 200, and 300 series of all of our guns. And coming in at number 11, a lot of you have asked, can you use your Law Tactical folding adapter for your CMMG product? For the most part, yes, it's pretty easy to use across the board. The only exception to that would be if you're using something with our radial delay blowback operating system and you're using the action tuning kit in that radial delay blowback operating system. Unfortunately, the action tuning kit is a weight set that goes into the back of the bolt carrier group, which is the same location that the adapter for the Law Tactical folder goes into. Unfortunately, those two things cannot operate the same space. So if you want to use the Law adapter with the action tuning kit, for now, it's a no-go. But the plus side is, if you're using the action tuning kit, the Law folder kind of does what the action tuning kit does. The Law folder adds a couple ounces of weight to the carrier, so you might not need the action tuning kit. But if you are running something that does require both, I'm just going to say we don't have a fix for that yet. But anything other than radial delay blowback, you're good to go. And the last question for this video, I'm not even going to give it a number because it's not a question I can answer. It is a question you guys ask us a lot, but I'm going to flip it back and ask you guys to answer this question for us. And that question is, what is the best optic to put on my Banshee or Endeavor or Resolute or whatever caliber it is? You guys ask us all the time, what's the best optic for it? Well, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of options out there. I personally use a few different ones depending on the caliber and platform. I know a lot of you use different ones. So if you would, go check out the link in the description down below. There's a link down there for you guys to submit a video to us saying what optic you have on your CMMG. After we get a chance to go through those, you might watch out. We might have those in some future videos. But we would like to hear from you, and not just in the comments down below. Please do that too. But hit us up with the link in the description and send us a video of what optic you use on your CMMG. We would love to see what everybody's got out there. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. I had a ton of fun, as always. Keep your questions coming. Hit us up in the comments down below with more questions. Send them to news@cmmginc.com. If we earned a like, go ahead and give us one of those. If you missed the first video, check it out right over there. We're going to have a link for the first video. If you want to subscribe, go ahead and hit that button right down there. And as always, stay safe.